Woman, woman, a warrior is a woman. When a man will cry, a woman smiles. Her shoes have walked 1,000 miles. The sticks of stone can break her bones. She welcomes all her friends and foes.
Welcome to another episode of Valor Woman. Valor Woman is a show that likes to tell stories of the most powerful women in Zambia, Africa, and beyond. Women making an impact and changing the narrative of what life is like. Now, you're watching us on DSTV channel 277, GoTV channel 2389 on Topstar 543 Star Times. We are also live on Facebook and YouTube, and that is CrownTVZambia. My name is Mainza Mbala Simaliki, and I'm with you throughout Valor Woman. But today's episode is absolutely exciting. Have you ever taken time to think you have it all together? You know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. But turns out sometimes we get it absolutely wrong. And we want to dive in this powerful woman's story of how she has taken something we do take for granted as something that needs to be re-echoed and for us to learn and understand. Let us get to know her journey. We have the one and only Madam Lindiwe Mwela, who is an etiquette trainer, and just will share her story and just give us a little snippet of how we ought to carry ourselves in life. Join me in welcoming her. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing, Mainga?
I'm good. First of all, you look so beautiful.
Thank you.
I am nervous about today's episode
Why
because I'm just thinking, am I sitting right? Am I doing it right?
So far, so good.
I pray so. I pray so. Just to get right into the conversation, give me just a brief understanding of what you do.
All right. Thank you so much. So I am a protocol and etiquette coach.
Wow.
I'm also a mentor. I'm also a strategist. I also delve so much into presence. How does someone show up? So all these, I tie them in our protocol and etiquette training.
Wow.
Yes.
I think it's something we take for granted, but something that's important. And before we dissect what you do, would like to know how you built up to get to this person that you are, because I have personally heard you speak. I have experienced you in different spaces, and I realized, my goodness, you're such a powerhouse, impacting so many different women, men, different industries. So tell us a little bit about your foundation. Tell us your schools. Where did you attend school?
I'm grateful for that question, Mainga. I went to St. Mary's. That's where I did my primary. Then I transitioned to Kablonga. Then I went to UNZA. UNZA, I hold a bachelor's in French and English. So I'm bilingual. I speak French. I'm fluent in French. Teaching has always been something that just piqued me.
Wow.
Yeah. So apart from that, I further did project management, as well as a master's in international relations and diplomacy. So I have quite a number of certificates, which I've gotten from different places, because as I was working for Foreign Affairs, that's the institution that really built the Lindiwe that you see now.
Wow.
I was fortunate enough to be mentored by diplomats. I was fortunate enough to be in the minister's office for 3.5 years. I used to be his special assistant. So that gave me the latitude to travel and traverse the world. I always like talking about this because that's the unique value that I bring, even when I talk about etiquette and protocol, because I've traversed to over 78 countries now and counting. Wow. So it's from that, even when I moved now to a different portfolio, I said, where does all this knowledge go? And I realized that there are gaps. I'm a very observant person in different spheres, whether professional or even just the social setting. How are people carrying themselves? Mainga, you need to realize that etiquette is the acceptable behavior in any setting.
Right.
So at home, there is etiquette and protocol. When we were growing up, for us, the father had a specific chair to sit on. There's a time when we could watch TV. All that is etiquette. So at church, there's also there's also room for that etiquette to manifest itself in the workplace. So it's also dress, it's eating, it's respect, it's all this, it's the behavior that is acceptable in any setup. So from this background that I've had, of course, I worked in foreign affairs, but I also worked in the NGOs. I worked for USAID funded project and Netherlands Development Organization. But I think by and large, foreign affairs shaped me because I was exposed to the global. So I realized, after I left foreign affairs to work elsewhere, where does all this experience go? There's a gap, that intergenerational gap between us and the younger people. How do we bridge that gap? Because if there's a constant that is there, manners and respect are a constant.
I like that. And unfortunately, we're in a time where etiquette is perceived as old-fashioned. I like that you brought it home. We did grow up in a setting where ichpuna chaba dad, ichpuna chaba mom, you don't act a certain way. And there were certain rules that we followed in the home.
Yeah.
But today, that is perceived as being either rigid, old-fashioned. And if I just can dive a little in that, how do you describe modern day etiquette, especially for young professionals in 2026?
Okay, thank you so much. I like to say this. Etiquette is good manners. It's those hidden things that open up great doors. Your credentials, your qualifications are the first thing that will open up a door. You get employed because you've got a degree, you've got a master's. But are you a good team player? Do you respect time? Because etiquette is about respect. Do you respect time? Do you respect yourself? Do you respect the code of conduct in that workplace? Are you a good team player? Because also, if you do not have respect, they can't entrust you with more things because you're going to break the team. So etiquette tells us, how do we behave? Because the gap that I see now, on the younger side, they feel, I don't need this. I need to dress the way I am. But the problem that I have noticed is there's no one to tell them. How will they know if they're not told? How will they know? Are they deliberate steps we've put in the workplace to say there has to be etiquette training and orientation? Yes, we'll orient the people on the aspects of, this is the code of conduct and but how do you carry yourself in a workplace? There are people from different backgrounds. But like I said, respect is a common denominator in different places. So a young person it's not a cake. How we behave is not a cake. It's actually an added advantage. Because if you've got good manners, you respect time.
That's right.
You respect yourself because even when you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. So how do you communicate? Right. How do you show up? All those are facets of etiquette.
I didn't know that. I didn't know some of the things. And I feel like already my mind is just opening up to this. You are in the business of changing minds.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And that is something that is not easy. Help me understand. And every viewer watching right now. How easy or what has the hardest part of building a brand, like what you are doing, been over the years, especially in a time that this is something that is not given specific attention, especially in Zambia?
Yeah. It's very interesting. It hasn't been easy, but it's been very rewarding.
Right.
Why hasn't it been easy? Because when we talk about manners, people say we already know, but you don't know. You don't know. So it's actually, etiquette is a science. It's a discipline. It's a specialty. Right. People are trained. I was trained in China. I was trained in India. I was trained in Turkey. So you are trained on certain things because you don't know. How do you sit? How do you sit a guest? How do you show up? How do you speak? How do you communicate? Sometimes we take it for granted. I see even big people, if I may, because they don't know. For instance, you are at a dinner table, a high-level dinner table, and you get a very big bag, and you put it on the table there, obstructing other people. It's those few nuances that people need to know. So we are actually very busy. Right now, we have a cohort with the team that I work with. There are other trainers like Mrs. Chawelwa. There's also Mrs. Mbewe. We are doing a training. We did this for free. We advertised it. We were just looking for 50 people.
Wow.
But we got 120 people that we trained for 6 weeks. We're having the last day, and they were so excited because it's things that they don't know. How do they show up? How do you build your confidence? All those is under etiquette, because if you know how to communicate respectfully, there's this aspect of people saying, oh, sorry, can I cut you? You know what that does to the person who's speaking? It means they lose their line of thought. So your communication, you need to work on your communication. You can simply write down your point and wait, and then you can contribute. So all those things, we teach people on how to show up, how to add value, because soft skills are the real currency now.
Wow.
Yes.
Just to understand a little, what's the most common gap? Because I'm listening to you and I'm here thinking, Mainza, how are you handling all these interviews? What's really happening in this? It's something that I think is people need to keep learning and opening their minds to. But I just want to know the most common gap that you have observed in your training with the various people that you encounter, without mentioning names, of course, just to help us understand something that's common with professionals today.
Okay, sense of occasion. Sense of occasion, how people show up. You are coming for a dinner and they've told you black tie and someone wears a jeans. Yeah, that tells us you disrespect yourself and you're also disrespecting the host.
Wow.
2, this is such a passion of mine. I will shout it to the mountain, Zambian time. Oh my goodness, there's Zambian time. We're even proud, Zambian time. And when you ask people, but why didn't you come on time? I thought I would be on my own. So that also, and endearment. We've just met for the first time. You want to hug me, you want to call me Mainza, you want to hold my hand. It's so common. May the male folks forgive me, but it's very wrong if you're not on that sphere of familiarity with somebody to even touch their shoulder. In developed countries, that's harassment. So such things sometimes shock me, because you find this person really came to this occasion, but at the end of the day, you realize they do not know. That's where we come in. They do not know. Even certain things of wearing clothes, very high formal event where your sleeves are showing, you wear spaghetti. Those things shock me. It's not confidence, it's ignorance, because people think they are very comfortable, but they need to invest in etiquette and as well as protocol.
Zambia, right now, for many years, has always taken pride in the fact that we do maintain our culture. We take so much pride in who we are as a people. Despite having 72 tribes, we are one people, and we like to preserve who we are. How do you balance, and this is out of curiosity because you didn't mention, in other countries, there's certain things that are normalized here that are quite disrespectful in other places. And I'd like to believe you are training global etiquette across different borders and across different countries. So how do you balance between global etiquette lessons against maintaining our local cultural norms?
Thank you so much, Mainza, for that question. I think what you should realize is that etiquette does not take away from the culture. So etiquette is the language of respect. And respect manifests itself in different shapes and forms. So what we do, we expose the people because we've been exposed to that. So we expose the people. For instance, the French, for them, they kiss. They can kiss you on both cheeks. But if you go to Saudi Arabia, it's faux pas. You can't even greet a woman. So, but in Zambia, we have our etiquette also and our culture, because culture is what builds people. It's what names people. It's what makes people. So our culture builds us, it names us, it's what makes us. So in Zambia, a woman is supposed to have a chitenge. You need to have a chitenge at all costs. That's our culture.
That's right.
Growing up, when visitors come in the home, what would we do, Mainza? We would all come and greet the visitors.
That's right.
So those are what makes us. So for me, I don't see any contradiction. It's just maybe tailor-making it to what it is now. For instance, we were growing up when we didn't have social media. So how do we carry our culture even in our social media? How do we do that? Because social media is here to stay. So that balance now, because there are certain things, like you rightly put it, which are not Zambians. So that those cannot thrive here. But within what we are, is also to expose people, because you may not go to the 78 countries, but those 78 countries may come here. So how do you work with them? For instance, Crown TV receives a Japanese ambassador, for crying out loud, or a Chinese ambassador. Etiquette is going to help you. How you set the tone. The people from Thailand, the color purple is associated with death. So on that day, Mainza, you are wearing purple, and you want them to come and partner with you. Are you sure that day they will sign that contract? No, they won't, because they're like, why are these people in black? So, I mean, in purple. For them, purple is synonymous with mourning. So it helps you, etiquette helps you to bring harmony and also to give you an advantage, because if you know, for instance, if you go to the Irish, they value green. So if you go to their National Day, for instance, or they invite you, when you wear green, it means you respect their culture. Not necessarily changing it, no. But if someone comes to Zambia, I see this with diplomats. They are very sharp. They will learn Nyanja very quickly. They wear the football jersey. All that is part of protocol and etiquette, so that you understand each other. So even us at our level, you visit someone's home, the etiquette. When we were growing up, Mainga, relatives from the village would bring food in town.
Oh, that's true.
They'll bring groundnuts. Even now, when they come, they'll bring with groundnuts, they'll bring a present. Gifting is there in etiquette at international standard. But even in our culture, gifting is there. So I don't see the contradiction really, but I just see the importance of us understanding and aligning accordingly.
I think that's very interesting that you touched a little bit on social media not going anywhere. The digital space is a place where people are actively networking today.
Yes.
Help me understand if there's any online digital etiquette mistakes that people are making constantly that they are not aware of.
Yeah. You know, and that's one thing that I think even young people, even elderly people alike needs to be alive that whatever is on the internet is there for eternity. It won't go away. You may delete it, it will still pop up. So even as we show up in there, let's show up in a way that we may not do a disadvantage to ourselves. So for instance, what kind of posting do you put there? The kind of pictures, the kind of content. Why should you put controversial things there on a professional space? There are simple things like even when on WhatsApp, for instance, you quickly just do a video without getting clarity from the person that is there, without all those things, and you just go on like that. So there's a permission on how you use those social media, even just sharing certain content without the author's authorization. There's all these things. It's going viral. Sometimes it's very dangerous. Before looking back, I think people need to be very serious, because that is the digital footprint. For me, even now, as employers are employing, they go to your socials.
That's right. That's
part of their process of employing you. They'll check all your socials, and you're saying, here I'm a scientist or I'm an IT specialist, but you are there putting beer, your personal things. Those things don't need to be there. And for me, another problem that I see is people using a language there which they wouldn't tell you in person.
Okay.
So people are so courageous on social media, putting unpalatable language, even professionals sometimes. But when they see you in person, that kind of language they might not use with you. So it's all that awareness and that intentional sensitization of people to use the social media sphere or space in a manner that they will not regret in the near future.
You are
bullying,
a woman.
yeah.
I mean, before you even continue, I'm very passionate about this, and I apologize for cutting you. Do you think enough knowledge is being spread across for people to understand how to coordinate and handle yourself in the digital space? Because at the same time, do we see a situation where people's free will is being taken away from them, in the sense that this is my social media, it's my platform. I should have the power to express myself the way I feel I should.
Yeah. No, I think sensitization needs to be there because I know we have human rights,
Right.
but human rights should not infringe someone else's human rights. And Zambia, for instance, what does Zambia stand for? What are our values? What do we stand for as Zambians? Zambians are known as respectful people. Zambians are known as peaceful people. We coexist. So we shouldn't lose that in the process because of social media. No. I think rules are there to help us to coexist in that sphere. Yes, you can put whatever you want, but so long it's not in contradiction with the law. Because the law also, remember we have the cybersecurity law, where you shouldn't bully someone on the social media space. You shouldn't put things there that are not true. You shouldn't, character assassination of somebody else. So even as we are using that social media, it shouldn't infringe on someone else's rights because we all have human rights. So how do we find that balance to coexist and put things there that are going to build us? For me, I still stand on the aspect of people don't know.
Right.
Yeah, people don't know. That's the gap that is there. People don't know. And people need to be sensitized. It should be something that is part and parcel in the workplaces, in the schools. People need to be trained.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not always easy to get to where you're at. It's taken maybe a very interesting journey to just build up to have this wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
Take us back to how you decided to say, you know what? This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And also when you were starting, did you have it figured out? Did you have your etiquette in order?
Thank you so much for that question. I think the most important thing in life is to start. We always have that conviction. Usually we don't know what our purpose in life is. I think in the different aspects that I've worked for, remember I taught for some time because my first degree was in teaching.
Right.
So it's always been embedded in me to effect change, positive change by behavioral change, either through knowledge. Now it has ended with etiquette. But taking it out now as something that I would do as for a livelihood or a side hustle or whatever you may call it, it hasn't been easy. Because the first question you ask yourself, are people going to be willing? Because like I told you, this is an area where people feel like they already know. So I always get this whenever we have this training.
Right.
So you always get this like, oh, what is she going to talk about? We already know. But what I love is by the end of the session, we have this education and learning which has taken place. So you have to be convinced as a human being. You have to have the conviction to say, this is the unique value that I bring to the table. Yeah, this is the unique value, and this is how I can effect change. I started on a smaller scale at church to find girls I can mentor, I can speak through how do we move, how do we change. And all this wealth of experience, we've been going in different churches because in the church also, that's where you find a lot of people. And the church is like a hospital, by the way.
That's true.
Patients go there. So even there, that's where we've been effecting change because etiquette is the acceptable way of behavior in any setup. So it hasn't been easy to answer your question, but slowly we're making traction. Slowly people know, oh, this is your go-to girl if you need to talk about etiquette and protocol and those trainings. So you have to be consistent.
Right.
It won't happen one-off. You have a good gig, then you leave it there. There are bad days. There are days where you feel, oh, can I write? Because I'm a teacher by profession. I'm a mentor. So I write. I have on my socials, I educate people. I write articles on a daily basis. I have protocol insights on Fridays.
Wow.
I have etiquette and transformational leadership on Monday, where we share different things of how we can better ourselves. And the feedback has been amazing. Feedback has been amazing. People are learning. The people are really learning. So it's something which hasn't been easy, but has been very fulfilling. So we keep on pushing. We keep on pushing. Yeah.
I hear you. You have gone into a service, a very niche professional service.
Yeah.
And let's also add on, as various people would call it, you're part of the marginalized. You're a woman. Tell me challenges very specific to you as a woman in this very niche professional service that you're offering. What are some of the challenges that have stood out that you've experienced?
Bullying. If you go to work, our work entails at a higher level in terms of high-level meetings where you have VVIPs, you are subcontracted, you have to do the sitting plans, you have to do all these things. And wherever there are people, there are others who are troublemakers. I had one where someone just stood in the crowd. I'm busy working and comes to sit where high-level people are supposed to sit. And you politely go and tell the gentleman, please, can you move out of the table? And the chair where you're sitting, move out, because it's already tagged. And the man looks at me and says, do you realize you're a very ugly woman?
Oh, wow.
Yes. So it has taught me how to not react, because now I know when you open your mouth, it tells me who you are.
Right.
And from the abundance of the heart is what comes out.
That's right.
So it's how you react. Because what happens in such instance, if you react, they say, it's a woman.
Yes.
Yeah. So in that instance, we have tactics as trainers. You count up to 7. By then you have your nerves down and you just say, excuse me, sir, we're here to work. Later on, the man came to say sorry. And later on, we met in a different sphere and he didn't remember me, but I remembered him. So it's those issues where people feel they can bully you because you are a woman. But then the flip side is when they know you are good, they respect you.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Because we are in a time where people just believe people can say what they want to say, when they want to say it, and how they want to say it.
Yeah.
Just your writing on that. If we come to the conversation of just being able to understand you growing, expanding your capacity, challenges you've experienced, if someone came to you and said, Madam Lindiwe, etiquette does not matter, results do. What's your immediate response?
Oh, it does. It does. I love one of my favorite quotes on etiquette is by Clarence Thomas. It says, good manners will open for you a door that even the best education won't.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's proven because if in a work environment, for instance, you may, like I said earlier, you may have the accolades, you may have the credentials, but if you're not a good player, not a good team player, because you have young people now in the workspace who are specialized, who are very educated, but they'll find elderly people. How are you going to relate with those? Are you easy to work with? How are your soft skills? How do you keep time? How do you show up? How do you handle pressure? Because they are in the workplace, there are people who say, this is how I am.
Right.
So that's where etiquette now comes in, because etiquette has to do with behavior. It has to do with manners. How do you carry yourself in that workplace? It may not matter when you're coming in,
yes,
but to sustain you, manners do. Because how are you going to crash under pressure? How do you handle pressure? There are people who say, this is the way I am. Have you managed to term yourself? So for me, yes, papers are important, but the new flex is really how you carry yourself. You know that emotional intelligence is very important. Cultural intelligence is very important. And I can proudly say all those are under etiquette.
My goodness. We are unpacking so much because I think I am learning quite a lot. It's very interesting. We'll go on a short break. When we get back, we unpack so much more of her journey.
Woman, a warrior is a woman. When a man will cry, a woman smiles. Her shoes have walked 1,000 miles. The sticks of stone can break her bones. She welcomes all her friends and foes.
Etiquette matters, and it does lead to you being able to get many more opportunities and just maintaining certain doors. We are speaking to Madam Lindiwe Mwela, who has just given us more insights on what etiquette is about, her journey, and just being able to navigate this space, considering that it is a very niche professional space. Madam Lindiwe, still talking about etiquette, I can hear through and through as we're speaking, you keep touching on the youth, young people, youth. And this is because you are passionate about
Yes.
young people and
Yes.
just how they carry themselves in these spaces. I believe young people still have a lot of opportunities ahead of them, and sometimes people don't tend to not walk in the spaces they ought to because of their personal branding. And I want to just touch on that a little further. What do you think a 25-year-old, 35-year-old professional needs to do to be able, or just keep in mind as they grow and seek various opportunities, especially in this hustle culture we're in today?
Thank you so much. Indeed, I am very passionate about the youth. There's even a training that I do with, in conjunction with one of the Anglican priests, Father Peplan, where we say, catch them when they're young.
Nice.
You catch them where they are young. I'm very passionate because I'm saying, look, when we were growing up, we had grandparents, we had the extended family in the home who would orient us on our culture. How do you live? How do you do this? But you know, that has quickly phased off now. We are more into the nuclear family. So there has to be that intentionality of guiding the younger people. One of the things that I like telling the young people in answering your question is, you won't be young forever.
Oh, that's true.
And this time flies so fast. The 21 to 35 flies by so fast. I love that the Bible says, enjoy your youth.
Right.
But there are consequences after that, enjoying your youth. So I advise them to say, yes, build competence, but also build character. Be a young person who be dependable, who have integrity, who have impeccable communication skills, who be a confident person. All these skills I'm talking about are built. You're not born with them. Lindiwe here you see is not the Lindiwe who was there even last year.
Wow.
I just graduated on Saturday. I took a certificate course in public speaking and personal branding. So you keep on learning. And because the young people are so fortunate, they're in the information age. So it's an ambivalence for them. It's double-edged sword because you can use it to build yourself, or you can use it to waste your future away. So build competence, build skills, and build character. Let your character speak for you in rooms where you're not seated.
Right.
When they talk about who can come and moderate this, the first person who will come to my mind, I'll say, I've got my young girl.
Right.
Mainza can come and do this, because that is your personal brand, because we all have that God-given brand that God has given us.
Nice.
It's the unique value. We may not moderate like you, but there can only be you, one Mainza. There can only be one Lindiwe. There are friends, there are colleagues who do etiquette and protocol, but we can do it differently. So for me, the young people, build competence, build skills, and build character.
Build character. I think that's something that the building character stands out the most, because sometimes you just think the qualification that got me through the door is enough. Madam Lindiwe, you have many hats that you wear. You are a civil servant. You have talked about also working for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You have talked about serving in different spaces, and above all else, you're also a mom.
Oh, yes.
You are a mother, and the demands that come with being a mother, a wife, remain the same. I have heard you about sharing how you've traveled to over 70 countries. That is not something that is easy. Let's talk about jet lag. Still being able to manage your home despite not being there physically. Many people are struggling with this. I want to start by asking, how do you balance it all?
To be honest, the balance is never there.
Okay.
It's, for me, it's prioritization. How do you prioritize? For me, it's my God, my family, my work, my hustle. And I must mention, I've got a very supportive husband.
Wow.
I think when you see women thriving like this, besides that woman is a man who's very supportive, who keeps you pushing. You know, he holds float down when you're not there. So for me, it's planning. So you prioritize a lot of dedication and support. So for me, the balance, to say there'll be a balance, no, there'll be a time where family will be more important for that particular time. There'll be a time when I'll spend a bit of more time at church and all that kind. But for me, you prioritize and you balance. For instance, today, I knew, what am I going to do? I start my day, I have my devotion, because everybody needs grounding.
That's right.
After your devotion, you do your prayers, then now you start prioritizing, what am I going to do? And for me, my mantra is gratitude always.
Wow.
You start the day with, there's so much to be grateful for. Yeah, so you need to plan. When you wear so many hats, I mean, we all have 24 hours. There are people who do even much more than I do. So how do they manage? So money is made from time. Time is money. It's a currency. So how do you prioritize? Also delegate. You can't be everything. You can't be superwoman. I have 6 children.
Wow.
So how do you plan around that? So you really need to be impeccable in your planning and prioritize to say, okay, I may not manage to do this and this. And another thing I tell women, it's okay to say no. Are you coming for this kitchen party? No, I'm not able to.
Oh
no is an
God.
answer.
Oh my God. That I think is very personal. If I'm just going to expand on it a little bit, that is one of the hardest things to do. Because people are just trying, women are trying to do so much and show up everywhere, be relevant almost everywhere. And it's very difficult. How do you... I mean, I hear you in trying to balance it all, but how do you manage the pressure that comes from society, especially around motherhood, being a wife, being a career woman, being a woman that is building a business and brand from the ground up?
Yeah, like I said, of course, my grounding in faith and in my God helps me. It's not easy, I must mention. It's not easy because the expectations are high.
That's right.
You have family, you have friends, you have, career, you have business. To top it all, you are a farmer. How do you balance it? I've seen partnerships help, delegation helps, and also get time to, relax. You are busy feeding other people. How do you feel yourself? What is your time when you want to relax? When it's time to relax, relax. Get leave, shut off all the phones and relax, recharge. Because women, we give so much. Our male folks are unapologetic about that.
Right.
For us, we think it's being selfish. But how are you going to serve other people if you yourself do not take care of yourself? So it's very important. And because of those external pressures, you are needed to visit here, you needed a kitchen party. Me, I'm an auntie, so I can be in 5 committees. But I don't attend all of them. I will be able to send apologies. And let's normalize saying, no, I'm not able to. It's also an answer.
Wow.
Sometimes we cage ourselves as women by saying, yes, I'll do it. Yes, I'll do it. No, sometimes learn to say no. No is an answer. Yeah.
Looking at how much success you have acquired, getting to who you are today, the networks that you have built, the person that you are, and the relevance that you carry. If you had an opportunity to talk to yourself 20, 30 years ago, what would you say?
I would have said a day at a time. Rome is not built in one day. Because your young self wouldn't know what your future self would be. Right. And I think that the journey is more important than the destination. So the mistakes, the failures are all part of the destination. So the younger self, when life was hard, keep pushing. There will be a brighter day. The sun always shines.
I like that so much. And as I close, I want to know what your message is to the young people who are in an era and a time of living so free, living without rules, discarding respect, honor, etiquette, conduct, discarding some of the things that really structured the societies that we see today. What's your message to every single young person in that space that you're so passionate about and is watching you right now?
Thank you so much. My message to the young person is be intentional. Be intentional with how you show up and what you do with your life. For me, etiquette is hinged on respect. How you show up, what you invest in yourself tells the world who you are. So make it count. Make it count. Be intentional. Learn what is required of you. You have the advantage of time. Time is a precious commodity. You have an advantage of time and information. Build yourself. that your future you is going to be proud of.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
been an honor having you. I want to go on. I wish I had more time.
I'm so grateful for having me. I think this has been long overdue.
Yes,
We're
it
planning
has.
to come, but I think it's been worthwhile. I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
you are here.
Thank you.
Well, for every single person like me who has been completely transformed by the conversation today, we have been speaking to Madam Lindiwe Mwela, who's just been giving us more insights on etiquette. She is a protocol and etiquette coach, and she has just shared her journey and how she built herself to where she is today. Now, you know, I will catch you same time, same place next week on Valor Woman. It is goodbye and keep watching Crown TV.
Woman, woman, a warrior is a woman. When a man will cry, a woman smiles. Her shoes have walked 1,000 miles. The sticks of stone can break her bones. She welcomes all her friends and foes. Woman.